Mm-hmm. So, let's get into Space Patrol LULUCO.
Good job. You did it.
All eyes were on me. Is like, don't fuck this up, you dumbo. Space Patrol LULUCO is the most recent animation project by Studio Trigger. A controversial, not controversial, like mixed reception to their stuff. A studio that has emerged of mostly ex-Gynax people.
Yeah.
Most famous for Kill la Kill. Also worked on Little Witch Academia and
Inferno Cop.
I'll have to take your word for that.
That was the 2D skeleton.
That was the 2D skeleton? Okay.
Yeah.
And some other short series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a series that aired actually at the same time with Space Patrol LULUCO called
Kisnavier.
Kisnavier, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that. I haven't checked it out, though.
Did they do Panty and Stocking, or was that Gynax?
That was Gynax.
And what about Gurren Lagann?
Gynax.
Okay.
But
like people,
it's mostly
those
the same
guys,
people.
those individual people worked on both of those shows probably.
Yeah, it all kind of blurs together.
Yeah.
It's like, Clover and Platinum. If you like Beautiful Show. Which everyone at this table either does or would. Like, you'd
From
love
what
it.
I've seen,
You'd
yeah.
love it in a second.
Yeah.
And it is a very refreshing format after the 52 episode show we watched. No, it's not 52. Felt like it. Show we watched last week. There's 13 episodes of 7 minutes in length, including a full length opening and ending.
Yeah.
So like 4.5.
Well, I would say it was a full length ending and sort of like a half opening.
It was
For
a
anime,
short 45 or 30 second opening.
for anime standards,
Yeah.
it was a short opening.
Dense. But like, I mean, that's also...
The whole show's
Also,
jam-packed.
and it's very much like, I've never seen anything that Trigger has done, and the only really Gynax thing I've sat down and watched all of is Fooly Cooley, which
we all know the story of how that goes.
yeah, but like, it seems almost like a bit of self-parody and a bit of like self-exaggeration, and that this show just every episode just floors it from the beginning. It escalates to max immediately because it's something that Trigger is very good at.
Yeah.
And in a show that's pure comedy, mostly pure comedy, it allows them to just get to these fun places immediately. Which isn't to say that there aren't one or two episodes where it does slow down, but that contrast allows it to have a lot of impact.
Yeah.
It allows them to be very slow for a very short amount of time and get that impact.
Yeah, it's always fun. Like, whenever they stop and, like, linger on stuff, I'm always like, this is amazing because you have so little time.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? Your butthole must be clenched right
Yeah,
now.
and the episodes feel longer than they are. They feel a lot, more robust than they are. And it's because of the density.
I love how it's like 4 seasons.
Yeah. It's presented as 4 seasons.
Yeah, like it's very much sort of self-parody.
It's super
also
tongue-in-cheek.
Very tongue-in-cheek, but also sort of like self-congratulatory at the same time.
Yes.
This was done for Studio Trigger's 5th anniversary.
First of all, celebrating your 5th anniversary is pretty self-congratulatory.
I mean, with the way the anime industry
That's
is...
true.
The way
That's
the anime
true.
industry is now...
But it's like whenever I see...
Every single one of them probably wake up in the morning and get ready for work like, hope this isn't my last day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they've
As they put a piece of toast in the mouth, like, I already ate, but I gotta commit, like, this is brand synergy.
and like,
But it reminds me of, like, you see products as, like, serving the United States since 2003. Shut up.
Yeah.
If you're not older than my dad, I don't give a shit.
and like part of it is because Studio Trigger, in the short time they have been around, they have accomplished a lot. However you might feel about the content of their work, the quality of animation that they're doing is pretty much unmatched.
They make objectively well-produced shows. They know what they're doing.
And especially in this day and age when, shows are getting more and more expensive to make and animators are getting less and less like there just aren't as many of them. Yeah. Like having something like this consistently solid and groundbreaking, like it's influencing how people go about like physically moving characters around, which anime hasn't always been known for, is the actual animation part.
In fact, I'm sure Tucci knows, a lot of reason why there's so much of early anime was mecha is because it's easy to animate.
Yeah.
It's a robot that just slides around.
It's a lot of space. It's a lot of stock footage. It's a lot of lumpy robot shots.
Whereas nothing in any of the Studio Trigger stuff I've seen, nothing is static.
No.
Ever.
It's very hyperkinetic without, it can be overwhelming if you're not ready for it, but it's not messy.
I'm always ready for it.
And it has its own distinct style, which, you know, in general, anime does it's sort of hard to have a standout look sometimes. Yeah. Because
which can
the best anime always does.
The best anime always
does. And that can
does.
sometimes be a what's the word?
You know, the best Western,
like a diminutive.
Yeah. The best Western anime always the best Western. The best Western anime, you know, that hit anime series based off the chain of hotels. No, but the best American and North American animation, that can also have like cliche examples. You know, like people. It's a fake argument, but people say, "Oh, the cow art style," and it's like, no, that's fake. But I mean, like stuff without any like style or individual design to it, like the new Powerpuff Girl background character designs, and the new Ben 10 does a lot of their designs.
Yeah.
Anime has that same thing.
Yeah, and it goes through phases. Like right now, the anime style is very like almost they almost look like jelly. Like they don't really have lines anymore.
it's soft.
Everything's very soft, and Trigger is also very soft, but it's like got a particular cutesy roundness about it.
It knows when to be soft and angular, and I like that's what I like to try to do in my art style. It's like soft things are soft and angular things are really angular, and I love that contrast because it goes well together in a way you don't expect until you see it, and you go, oh, that's really stylized and nice, and every line is important.
I've always really dug certain elements of Trigger's style, like the dynamism of everything, and even, you know, the way their approach to character design in some aspects. Like obviously, like Trigger is the horniest studio in the world, and that I do not care for. But a lot of other elements of their, you know, design aesthetic really does work for me. And one reason why I like this show so much is that it's not horny, except only a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to vent the pressure somehow.
So the show was directed by Hiroyuki Imashi, who directed previously Dead Leaves, Re Cutie Honey, Gurren Lagann, Panty and Stocking, and Kill la Kill.
The Gainax Cutie Honey animated series, that's horny.
Oh yeah, well, Cutie Honey's always been horny.
Yeah, but that one's special. The original 70s anime is actually pretty okay about it. I like that original anime from the 70s. The manga, reprehensible garbage.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like this, it's the same dude who did, you know, Gurren Lagann, Panty and Stocking, and even Kill la Kill, and it does definitely sort of show. He's been wanting to he's been trying to work on LULUCO since 2011. He had initial concepts for, and apparently it's just been kind of hard to get it off the ground, but it just sort of finally came to fruition now, and I'm glad it did, because it was able to sort of encompass all of these things that we now associate with Studio Trigger.
I wonder if the pitch just came down to like, look, okay, what if it's only like not even like a movie length long? Do I have a budget now? Can I make this now? And they're like, if you can do it, sure.
Why won't you let me make a thing?
And then everyone was like, Nani?
Nandato!
That is kind of what things... I imagine that's what it's like in Studio Trigger.
What if they should make it... They should make an anime about making anime, and it's just Studio Trigger, and it's just like characters... Screaming. Like, everybody there, and it's an explosion.
Everybody's so crazy and roided out.
So, I have to redraw all the keyframes!
Every between fucking... Every lunch break, somebody just jumps out the window naked, screaming...
Use this for reference!
So this show is pretty simple. It's about... It takes...
Depends on, like... There's, like... At the surface level, it's simple, and then in the middle, it's like... It's not. But then when you get all the way to the core, it actually is simple again.
Yeah.
It's this weird Oreo.
So, the show sort of purposely sets itself off with a very generic anime premise. LULUCO is a 13-year-old middle schooler who's very normal, wants to be just a normal average girl. I'm a normal average girl. La 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 la. Have a normal life and a normal family. But she doesn't. Whoa, no. And that she lives... I mean, every anime has this premise. That's the point.
Keep going.
He's leaving.
I don't want to cough into the mic. We're on one track.
Okay,
don't draw attention.
So,
Don't look at me.
But...
Shut up.
She lives in this special town, Ogikubo, which is a sort of space colonization zone.
It's District 9.
Where aliens and humans live together, but it's like pretty chill and cool. But
It's
like
District
weird.
9, but I liked it.
Yeah. Apparently this has been the way for like 20 years prior to the story. Apparently Japan was super duper broke and just sold it to space or something.
Did you pause and see like the text and like the sales like no box slight fading?
I didn't see that. No.
And I think they sold it for like maybe like 100
like 65 million yen, which is like it translated to like $65,000. Which is not a whole lot for a city.
But despite this,
that's less than the cost of the price of a house.
But despite this, she's normal and whatever. She lives with her dad. But her dad is a member of the Space Patrol who does the the policing with all the space law.
Yeah.
Space police.
The Space Patrol works, like, across the galaxy, but he is specifically stationed there, so he's just, like, a normal cop, but he solves alien crimes.
Space crimes. They keep doing that.
Yeah.
They keep, like, using space as an adjective, which is one of my favorite things.
But one normal morning, while yelling over delicious bacon and toast...
Well, expositing.
Expositing.
And again, very lampshaded, just like it's performed with no breaths, as that has like concentric heart attacks.
Lou was like, "Oh, LULUCO, you're so good. You do all the cleaning and the housework and the cooking." And
he's like,
make
I try to live a normal life, even though Mom walked out after a fight and took all the furniture.
This is another one that's going to be impossible to dub.
Yeah, you have to talk real fast.
I'll dub it.
But then in the middle of all the normal time, her dad accidentally swallows like
a cryo pill.
A cryo pill and freezes.
Freezes into an ice.
Otosan.
What would that be in the dub?
That'll scan perfectly.
That's scan pretty great. So she's like, "Oh shit, what do?" So she runs all the way over to the Space Patrol head division place office, and like the backgrounds are kind of interesting. It's sort of like a mesh of like kind of photos, but also weird shit, and it's not like
they look like they're all like Photoshop pictures, like photographs of a city. That's been shot.
It's really nice. I like it.
And then she's like, "Help me, help me."
And then the chief, who looks like a beautiful Joe mini boss.
Yeah. Because he was like, everyone initially thought that like that was going to be the Inferno Cop reference, just the chief himself, because Inferno Cop is like all 2D and it's really shittily animated. I haven't watched it, but I think there's specific moments of hyper good animation, but then 90% of the show is just like basically a cardboard puppet show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's always portrayed in like 2 dimensions.
Yeah, like one pose.
Yeah, if you see him at like a 1/8 angle or whatever the actual fucking fraction is, I don't know a goddamn thing about anything. It's like in the museum in Animal Crossing, if you like change the angle, it's like, oh, those trees and everything in this fucking game is 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it fits on that little disc.
And like it's really loud and crazy, and there's a bunch of yelling.
Everybody's screaming all the time,
except for the secretary, who has no voice.
And eventually they're like, "Okay, LULUCO, you have to become a member of the Space Patrol. You got to work that money to save your dad and support yourself. Also, your school's got some space crime. You got to go police the school."
Go, what are you still doing here?
Get out. Come on, we got 3 minutes left.
So she goes and
does that.
New transfer student.
No, she reveals her. She catches a space crime in action during midterms. The space cheating, and then transforms into a gun in the middle of class during the exam, and she's all super embarrassed. And then a meteor hits the classroom, and it's a transfer student. This is the kind of tone
Alpha Omega Nova.
Like it's a constant barrage of stuff.
This is the first episode. And we're not going to go scene by scene for everything, but like we're just going to set a premise.
We could. It's not that long.
I don't want.
But that's the premise.
Yeah.
And then this dude the exchange student shows up. His name is Alpha Omega Nova, and he's this really hot, pretty boy.
He's the prettiest boy.
He's also part of the Space Patrol. He transferred there, and LULUCO has a big crush on him the whole time. But he's a total ass burger.
Well, I mean, he's just like...
He doesn't have emotions.
He doesn't have emotions. He's just blank. He doesn't care.
But he's a dick about it. He's like,
doesn't really make a difference.
Everything
it means something to me either way. One way, it doesn't mean anything.
He's like the neutral guy from Futurama.
Basically, he's a neutronian.
If I don't make it out of this, tell my wife I said hello.
What was the name of the species he turned out to be?
I forget.
Nothingling.
A nothingling. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sir, it's a gray alert.
So they team up, and they solve space crimes. They also team up with a fellow classmate, Midori.
Who's my favorite.
Midori saves our world.
Who's voiced by Mayumi Shintani, the original voice actress of Haruka.
Yeah.
It has the same voice. She
has that slurred, like she's like a cat.
I'm sure that's a regional accent.
Probably. I love it. That's my favorite.
Nobody talks like that. She was originally creating a quasi-legal black hole app. And then
in one episode, she goes from the current villain to put upon straight man.
Yeah.
The rest of the series is like, everyone but me's an asshole. Hey, everybody, this is some crazy donkey dick. This sucks. What?
She joins the space.
How can you why?
And she also likes Alpha Omega Nova, because of course she does. And she's like Nikki said, she's oddly enough the straight man. LULUCO's just kind of obsessed with, like, how much she loves.
Hold on.
So yeah, they go on crazy, wacky adventures, but not really. I mean, it's very condensed.
Yeah.
But, everybody's sort of character is simplified in a way. LULUCO is the average 13-year-old girl who wants to live a normal life, but she's in love with this dude. This dude has
the dude.
He's the dude, he has no personality, other than that he's pretty. Midori is the one who's the most interesting. She's like the standout character.
I like her third eyeball in her hair.
Yeah. The general manager of Overjustice is the yelly.
Overjustice!
Keiji's her dad, which due to extraneous circumstances, they're able to revive only his brain.
Half his brain.
They put it on little wheels.
Give it like a little speaker so he can talk. And then the big bad initially is LULUCO's mom, LULUCO. Who
they shoved all the horniness into.
Yeah,
honestly, that LULUCO is basically a singular character of what best case scenario they attempt to do in Kill la Kill. She's just a giant parody of that, basically, because it's one singular character used for an effect, and it's not the whole show all over the place.
Yeah,
so it's a lot more obvious that, like, okay, it's a bit.
Yeah, if I would have walked in on this show as soon as she showed up, I'd be like, I would have been like, I don't know, Trigger made a Shantae anime.
Yeah.
That's risky boots. And actually, it connected to me when I was watching this show is that Trigger and Way Forward with their original properties, because most of what they do is licensed, there's kind of a similar aesthetic of, like, it is very horny, but it's also, like, sincerely very cute.
Yeah.
And it's conflicting for me and my whole fucking situation.
Yeah, LULUCO, she has a...
really looking forward to Shantae 4.
I forgot what she has one of the thread outfits from
Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill.
They draw her boobs different in every shot. They can't ever decide, like, how big and how busting out they are. And, like, in the distant shots, it's just like, it's no bra.
Well, I guess IJQ's no on model theory works for breasts too, I guess, as long as you can tell whose breasts they are.
Yeah. I mean, there's size variation day to day, I'm led to believe, by women and breast havers. People who know fucking anything. Again, unlike me.
I mean, I guess, like, on your period, they get...
Yeah, they can fluctuate.
It's about, like, water retention. Anyway.
In space, maybe water retention is wacky. Just, like, second to second.
It's like those orbs of water when the astronauts are in the International Space Station.
They got to karate chop them in half for some reason.
Yeah.
So once LULUCO
the reason is it's cool.
Once LULUCO is introduced, they keep using the phrase shoplift instead of steal. She shoplifts the city, and they end up going into a space adventure, where they basically, each episode, are trying to find the city / the rest of LULUCO's dad, and are visiting a planet that is basically the world of whatever Trigger property they decide to make fun of that day. There's a Kill la Kill planet that's just a big ball of yarn, and the song, and the letters.
And the red text.
The big red captions that get in the way of everything. That's a good joke.
There was a Little Witch Academia world, which was cute. And Susie was up-ins, and she was just totally there, just kind of like
existing,
being
like
herself.
not even making like that, like because the Kill la Kill one was like tongue in cheek,
Yeah,
like
the
they
Kill la
never
Kill
came
one,
out.
there
It was
was
actually a little subtle. If you like didn't know much about Kill la Kill, like I mean, if you guys hadn't explained to me like the whole thread alien shit, I wouldn't have gotten it.
Like none of the characters from the original show were in this.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like a very weird reinterpretation of it, whereas Little Witch Academia was just straight up.
they just went to that.
Yeah,
It just went to
They
that
quantum
world.
leaped into
And
it.
Susie was just there and was like, "Oh, hi."
Oh, hey,
Is
you're
Susie
gonna
on?
die.
Is Susie on drugs?
Susie is the best character. She's
Listen,
a
those
potion
two.
master. So maybe.
So yes, it was Robbie from the Adventure Zone.
She's cooking.
She just
Man, what's
stuffs
going to happen to
LULUCO.
Robbie? We haven't revisited that guy in a bit.
She stuffs LULUCO with mushrooms. So as this progresses, LULUCO gets more and more and more in love with Alpha Omega Nova.
Who just doesn't reciprocate.
He just doesn't reciprocate anything.
Dick one.
It's kind of harsh.
And the third planet was it Skeleton Cop?
No, that was the fourth one. That was after.
Oh, that was Hell?
That was the finale when she died.
That was the Hell?
Yeah,
What was the Yellow Boys?
It's Sex, Violence, and Mach Speed.
yeah. Those are the characters' names. Sex, Violence, and Mach Speed. The shark person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a part of Japan Animator Expo, which was a weekly series of original net animations, and that was a series that they
did. Yeah. I want to look into it. It looked fun.
Really
It looked stupid.
Yeah.
A girl with no it's the show is called Sex spelled normally, no space, ampersand, no space, all caps, violence, space with space, all caps, Mach Speed.
Sex and Violence with Mach Speed. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a shark detective named Mach Speed, his sex doll, Sex, and his monkey henchman, Violence, deal with an unusual client. Features music from independent electronic music label Attack the Music.
All right.
I've heard many worse names.
The next episode is called Obake-chan, and the description is just "There's a ghost."
All right.
I need to watch all of these. Okay. Anyway, so that was fun. LULUCO wants advice. Then what happens? Okay, so they finally find the city. Apparently, the city is more than just a city. They've been chasing it around because apparently there's a bunch of other things that have the same signature. It's more like this idea. It's like a fake version of the city, but it's not really the city. I don't know, fucking know. It was very Trigger like bullshit garbage, very tongue in cheek bullshit garbage.
But it's like if it was taking itself serious, like this is a metaphor for everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, they eventually end up at the main headquarters for the Space Patrol. They meet the head chief guy, and they're like, "You found it! It's here! You won the game!" or whatever. Everyone gets a prize.
He looks like a saga.
They go on like a little
much,
platform, and everything's super great and happy, and hooray! And then the next episode happens, and everything goes wrong.
It's bad.
It's revealed that Nova's the Nothingling, who's been working under an evil Black Holian who's taken over the entire Space Patrol headquarters. Their whole deal is that they are the embodiments of black holes, of just like nothingness. They have this obsession with collecting stuff that's valuable to people just so they can destroy it.
Yeah.
And then they did it so much that they started collecting things that were invaluable, thinking that maybe because it was so worthless, it becomes worthless.
It loops back around to something worthwhile.
We were talking about this because we were in a used game store earlier today talking about Rock Band instruments. Is that right now they're worthless, but soon everybody's just going to throw them in the ET landfill.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be 20 left in the world.
Yeah.
It's that.
And so, in the most gut-punching thing a villain could ever say, he goes, "The most worthless thing in this entire universe is a teenage girl's first love." Just...
And I'm watching it and I'm like, I mean, yeah. I mean, teenagers are real dumb. I mean, you're gendering...
It hurts because it's true.
You're gendering this, which is like, I mean, get rid of that and I'll be more on board with you. But like, yeah.
And I mean,
teenagers, middle schoolers don't do anything right.
I mean,
Everything they do is wrong. So he literally rips out her heart, which is like
or
this.
her love for him.
His crystallized heart. You know, it's one of the pure hearts from Super Paper Mario.
It has a funny anime name.
Yeah.
A pitter patter love.
Yeah, and then
Flutter,
because then Nova's is like a Doki something or something like that.
Yeah, I think Yeah, it's her version 1 heart, level 1 heart.
It's like Flutter and something else.
Yeah.
Something. And he destroys it. And she dies of it.
She dies of a broken heart.
And it's kind of this sort of criticism in a way because, this whole show is supposed to be like the most generic thing they could possibly think of. And the most generic thing they could possibly think of for an anime is like this a middle school girl's first crush. It's sort of, the commissioner criticizes LULUCO and by extension, I guess, other characters in anime or people in real life who you just fall in love of characters just because they have a pretty face and has nothing to do with anything, and like it's just like a worthless one-sided crush. But that I thought was kind of interesting though, because it was so like hard. There was something very harsh about it.
Yeah, I was really taken aback at how like legitimately hurt I was that was happening. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, I feel like this is where the show faltered for me thematically, because the whole idea, she falls in love with this dude who's, has done nothing to really attract her or endear himself to her in any way other than being really pretty. And he breaks her heart. But the message coming after her time in hell talking to another Beautiful Joe man, or whatever the fuck Made Up Thing 2 said. Whatever. Beautiful Joe. Mini boss. Joker. Remember Joker? Beautiful Joe?
No.
It's a great game. But the message is like, he's your true love and that's something important. So you go to him and you confess and this what you feel is real. And I'm like,
well, here's the thing.
Like, yeah,
This is about Studio Triggers. Let's think about it if this is a show about Studio Trigger, then let's sort of recontextualize it like that, because you could sort of apply all of this. So we'll say like Trigger fell in love with something anime fans would deem worthless, i.e. all style, no substance. And through looking back on its old works, managed to pump it full of so much love, it sort of came onto its own and became meaningful. Because Studio Trigger's whole thing is like these very kind of simple stories. Simple, like so simple. And emphasizing a lot of style over like major substance, really. Yet it's so beloved and made an impact and become something that mattered to people. So even
are we including Gainax in this equation?
Probably.
I'm including Gainax in this equation as well. Maybe not so much Evangelion, but
he would be very mad if you said that was all style and no substance.
Because he was trying to have substance there, or at least eventually, not initially. I don't know, but
we can't talk about.
I'm not talking about that. But the whole like history of Gainax and Trigger is like these very style over substance shows. Like, and that's what a lot of criticism is against them, and like a lot of like even why it was hard for you to digest, say like Fooly Cooly initially was because it was just like so much shit being thrown at you, but for what purpose? It's so simple. Why make it more complicated than what it is? And that's kind of what all their stuff does. It takes this really simple idea that's not really meaningful at all and makes it meaningful by putting so much passion and love into this very simple concept. Yeah. And that's kind of what LULUCO is taught to do. Like, yeah, your dumb crush is dumb, but who cares if it's dumb? You love it. It's important to you. So you make it the most amazing fucking dumb crush you could ever make it, and make it bigger than it could ever be.
And then it will transform into something wholly new, and that's how Nova gets, like, she gives Nova emotions.
Yeah. She makes him care.
I get where you're going for. I totally get the metaphor. I feel like the terms in which it's couched in are super problematic.
The gendering?
That is,
the idea of like, this boy broke your heart and he's never done a single goddamn thing for you in your life. He's the most important thing in your world.
Well, because that's the thing. That was the difference. It's not him. That was the difference with Nova. Is because
it's not about him. It's about her feelings.
Because you immediately dismissed Nova off the jump as a shitboy. But his whole thing is, it's not that he didn't do anything good. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong to her.
That's why
he just
LULUCO
existed.
was like, you didn't lie to me.
That's what made it even more soul crushing.
Did he though? He said you were very precious to me. He said that at one point.
And he meant it.
He meant it because he needed her to do this thing that he needed to do.
Yes.
He never lied to her. He just...
And that's what made me think, because like the villain was mocking her because it's like, you made this. LULUCO, you made up this whole fantasy romance in your fucking head just because this boy is pretty. He's just this empty shell of a human that you've projected all of your wants and desires onto. LULUCO, you did this to yourself. And then that was the most awful thing to me because that's true.
Who do you think you are? Nikki Bolton?
Everybody
in middle school does that.
Yeah.
Middle school is when it should have ended?
You know what we mean. I mean, it's something we all do.
Nikki, we do the therapy session after we turn off the mics.
Everybody does that though when they get like it's a crush. It's a crush. It's a giant anime explosion version of a crush.
And a lot of times the crush isn't so much about the other person. It's not really about. It's never really about the other person. It's always about you, the person having it.
Yeah.
And that's why, they were like, you have to go confess no matter what happens. This is an important moment for you. Whatever the heck he says, you finding him, you telling him how you feel, and you arresting his ass for being a dick. That's what's important right now. Because
for being a space dick.
For being a space dick, because that's part of your growth. That's why her mom was like, yeah, she's fucking got it. She's growing up. She understands what she needs to do. And
pretty soon she'll be a naked space pirate just like me.
Yeah.
And the fact
she'll be fucking up that genie with the purple hair, and then
because when she confessed, he just took her heart out again. And the dude was like, ha ha ha, you're so dumb. And she's like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this because it doesn't have to do with you or him. It's about me. And it just so happened that her sharing all of her feelings and emotions and experiences, this incredible enthusiasm for something so trivial awakened this dude's ability to feel, and it became reciprocated. It just so happened to become reciprocated. But, he was never really a character.
I did like it was like, I have feelings. Why did you do this to me? This is terrible.
I'm gonna fall into this black hole. Come get me later when I figure all this shit out.
Yeah, and so, he leaves because what wasn't important was them being together forever. It was important that moment happened.
Yeah.
And it helped to define LULUCO and make her grow as her own person.
Into Studio Trigger personified, into Trigger-chan.
That's what a crush is. It's just something you go through that defines you later in life.
Yeah, it turned out to be yet another coming of age anime all along.
Because that's what every anime they do is.
Especially if you approach Gainax/Trigger like, have you ever done anything that's like not coming of age? And then it's like asking Stanley to make a story not set in New York.
Because their whole like
I don't understand the question.
Their whole shtick is that they're a bunch of man children who are super otaku who made their own anime studio.
Yeah.
Of course it would always be about growing up or not growing up or whatever.
They keep making anime about it because they don't know how.
Yeah, because that's the only question that bothers them, really. So yeah, and then it turns out that she's Trigger-chan.
Who was a pre-existing design, like they didn't make her up for this anime. Because it's like, I remember when I found out, I didn't even know Trigger-chan was like a thing, but then when I saw it, I was like, oh, that makes sense that they would have that. Because it's Japan and they love mascots.
Oh yeah.
Every brand name on those islands has a cute mascot. Mm-hmm. And I looked it up, and like there was actually some older fan art from before the finale of people drawing Trigger-chan and LULUCO together, and people going like, "Oh, their designs are kind of similar. This is cute."
Yeah,
and then, like,
I'm looking at that right now.
Modern comments like, "Shit, they fucking okey doked us."
Yeah, like it was like an origin story for Trigger-chan, and by extension, what Trigger is all about. Really,
yeah,
at its heart, and which is
searching the galaxy for a cute boy.
Which is something that they probably wouldn't have figured out hadn't they made all these shows and like noticed their own patterns. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's pretty clear we have a pattern.
And then she's got on the trigger on the gun scooter, and through space, and then high fives the witch. It's like,
yeah, I love that moment where she like does the tag, like your turn.
Yeah,
because as we said in a previous episode, the next Studio Trigger project is a full animated series of Little Witch Academia.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. I love witches. Little Witch Academia is so sweet and cute. It's Harry Potter without any of the dudes.
Objectively better.
And also, we're not supposed to cheer for the jocks.
Yeah, exactly.
That the two rivals houses are both total jock-ass jocks.
Because a lot of American audiences don't know that like Harry Potter is couched in an old English or British genre of young boy novels that was about
boarding school.
About how great it was to be a jock in boarding school in like the 50s in England.
Yeah.
And then people today, like I think it was on like some other podcast I was listening to, they made a Harry Potter reference, and like somebody goes like, I didn't want to say other brand names on our show, but who cares? But they were like,
it's a good show.
Yeah, it's a good show. But
it's
like
nothing like ours, so it's not going to cannibalize.
But one of them was like, oh, Gryffindor, they're the jocks. And one of them was like, Gryffindor's the jocks, but they're the good guys. And I'm like, yeah, they're the jocks, though.
Yeah, they're the one who's doing stupid bullshit
I
that
hate
doesn't
them.
have to involve class.
Everything is about them.
In Pottermore, when you get every other house, it's a giant essay explaining to you why you shouldn't be disappointed you're not in Gryffindor. Gryffindor's is a single paragraph that basically just says, you did it, you win.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did get into Gryffindor when I did
And it was like
that.
it was like one paragraph of things. Slytherin got a fucking thesis.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not racist.
Yeah.
But...
Fuck everyone else, we're the best. Little Witch Academia doesn't have that. It's just little witches trying to be good and like learn cool powers.
Making goof 'em up spells.
And make goof 'em up spells and be accepted
Kinda
by a
killing their
society
friend,
that doesn't
maybe.
understand them.
Tim Curry sings a song? Oh, it's different. It's a different
That's a
witch.
different one.
Oh, no.
That's the worst witch.
That's the worst witch.
The worst witch.
Anything can happen on Halloween, though.
It's very true.
It's a bad song, Nikki. I wouldn't listen to it.
Oh, no. Yes, everyone needs to listen to it. It's required.
Oh, goodness me.
Okay, so the only other things I have to say are, like, we have some, like, little follow-up tidbits about what happens at the end of the story due to there was a panel at AX this year.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where they said some stuff about the series. They said, it says, LULUCO ends the story at, like, 18 years old, meaning 5 years has passed since the defeat of the Black Holians.
Which is why
and
we're showing
Nova's
her
disappearance
cleavage as
into another
Trigger-chan.
dimension. Yeah.
They need that excuse for them.
Apparently the flames surrounding Overjustice were intentionally supposed to resemble a marijuana leaf. I never even thought
I didn't even
that.
think about that, and I'm me.
Yeah, like, we're not as strangers.
And apparently LULUCO and Nova will indeed meet up again in another one of Trigger's works. Not including their brief cameo in Kiznaver.
Oh, did they? Oh shit! I think I remember seeing like a
There was
screen
a
capture,
bunch
like
of
a
weird
crowd
cameos.
shot.
All the crowd
They're
shots.
doing the Tezuka thing where he puts other characters in shit,
Yeah.
and it's like he uses them like his troupe of actors.
I read that some
Yeah.
of the crowd shots in LULUCO had like other anime characters from different
Oh, yeah.
properties because they've always been about like stealing everything from the get-go.
From the get-go with the Playboy Bunny and
With
the
the-
song.
Yeah, so like, you know.
We don't
'Cause
own
again-
any of this.
Because they're a bunch of fanboys is essentially...
Information wants to be free, but you should pay us for it. Hack the planet.
There is a manga adaptation. It was serialized in Ultra Jump and has been released in English by Crunchyroll.
I think it's
Is it like three? Is each chapter like 3 pages?
It's a bunch of 4 comas.
Yeah, that's
It's a bunch of 4 panel gags.
for
Dope.
Chroma. Yeah,
I love 4 Coma.
For
I read
Chroma's
they're,
really fun.
they're officially translated and readable on Crunchyroll's shitty manga reading app. It's shitty because it's a Flash player, so that you can't right click and screen grab.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that makes everything unreadable.
Yeah, LULUCO was really fun.
Yeah, no, it's great. I hope because like what anime loves to like recut anime TV shows into movies to make an extra buck. If they could honestly take this, make it like just shove it all together, and then add like 20 minutes of extra animation, and then make a theatrical cut of it. Like, I would watch the shit out of that.
That would actually be a really good format.
Because they're
for
going
it.
to do that with the most recent Gundam online series that came out, Gundam Thunderbolt. It's like a series of 11-minute, it's like a 4 or 8 episode, I forget how many episodes, like of 11-minute shorts based off of an ongoing manga. It's really good. It's the most brutal Gundam series I've ever seen, which is saying something for Gundam. But they're releasing it in a theatrical cut that's just going to have... It's not going to leave anything out. It's going to add more.
Unending brutality.
It's war. War is bad.
War is bad. War in the pocket.
Yikes. It's so much worse than war in the pocket.
You guys got anything else you want to say?
I just did the math, and there was maybe 72 minutes of like footage.
Yeah.
Without the endings and openings.
So
So yeah, they need to add something.
I would like to see that, because then you could just literally just have the movie.
Yeah, you would just
Yeah.
put a couple other planets in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Go to a Evangelion planet.
No.
Just
They're,
really,
they're
really
not in
piss off,
Gainax anymore.
really just piss off everybody.
Make the fourth movie that they refuse to fucking make.
Well, that's
But
because
and do it in 7 minutes.
that's because he was sad. We talked
I
about
know.
this.
I know.
It's because he has problems.
I know he's got probos.
His brain doesn't work.
Nina, I'm aware of his problems. I've watched Evangelion.
Everybody is like very aware of his problems, and that they are so aware of it. It's like, no man, sorry.
I'm also gonna watch his Godzilla movie. It's gonna be dope.
Oh, I'm super.
Oh, yeah.
For
That's another unrelated, quasi-related thing that they were gonna market the Shin Gojira as Godzilla Resurgence. Horrendously inferior name. I just found out today, but like an hour before we recorded, it's Shin Godzilla now.
Yeah. Also, they're making a Pikachu movie, but it's live action, and Pikachu's going to be CGI. I hope.
Detective.
It's Detective Pikachu, which is
Who had a really deep voice, didn't he?
Yeah, he talks like a he talks like a deep voice detective man.
Oh, he's not Ikue Otani?
No, it's like
because I think the plot is detective got turned into a Pikachu, and he's got to figure out how. It's
so does he speak Japanese?
Yes. He talks. And
Did you not see the trailer
he's got,
for
like,
it?
a deep voice. He's like,
the trailer for the video game.
No.
Yeah.
I never seen it.
He's like, oh, we have to find them.
He's like,
and it's like, it's Pikachu.
It's like,
It's like, okay, Pikachu.
it's Pikachu dressed up like a Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Which is to say, wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Listen, Pikachu just, like, even, like, sexy, skinny Pikachu now doesn't have that much neck.
Sexy, skinny.
Look, if you compare 2016 Pikachu to 1996 Pikachu,
they updated it again, and they can't make him any thinner, so now they're rounding out his head. His head is a circle now.
Yeah. Pikachu was just a fat little idiot. Pikachu was like the most no-neck son of a bitch before.
He was literally just like a tiny. He was a dwarf hamster.
Yeah, and even now he doesn't have that much neck. So what I'm getting at is he can't wear a shirt.
The thing that's weird about that is that's being made by Legendary.
Yeah.
Who they get? Are they
Legendary is Christopher Nolan's company.
They made the Warcraft movie that not a lot of people liked.
Also, all of Christopher Nolan's movies.
Yeah, which you hate across the board.
I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen Memento or whatever. I'm sure it's great.
And you also haven't seen Interstellar because you saw the trailer and you got it.
I saw the trailer and I'm like, I hate
this. This is the worst. This trailer fucking sucks. Ugh! I hate everybody in this stupid trailer. Whiny bastards.